job of keeping them out of the paint, they're in for a long night.
And the first time out of the game called for Chicago. This game coming after a loss against the Pistons.
And boy, that was a tough one to lose, guys. But they played well throughout that game, just unable to convert down the stretch.
Yeah, I know we don't get into moral victories, but they can definitely take away some positives from it because even though they came up on the short end, there was some good stuff too.
Here's what Chicago's going with right now. Pau Gasol's checked in for Noah. Mirotic comes in for Taj Gibson. Butler, he's checked in for Kirk Heinrich. And it's Rose in for Brooks. Mo Williams is checked in for the Cavaliers. We're just over 2.5 minutes into the second quarter. Bulls made the postseason for the 10th time in their last 11 seasons. Last year, they have become a fixture, Greg, in the playoffs in the East.
And how about last season, Kevin, had that interdivision matchup in their first round against the up-and-coming Bucks. Some hiccups for them in that series, but they were able to prevail.
In the corner, it's James. The second chance effort. Again, James missing.
Even though he isn't having the best of games from the floor, it hasn't seemed to hurt him.
That's his first personal foul, first team foul.
Just under 3.5 minutes played here in the second quarter.
And he just leaves the D in the dust and explodes to the basket.
You're right. Clark, maybe a momentum changer right there, huh?
It could be, Kevin. I mean, a dunk like that can sometimes get an opponent reeling.
Bulls trailed by 11. Passes it to Rose. From the arc. The shot's good on the assist by Butler. 9 points for Rose.
Guys, that's just really unstoppable. He poses a ton of matchup problems for whomever he's facing.
Timeout called the Cavaliers.
You know, the Cavs last season won a bunch of games, but they had to fight for a lot of them. They often would fall behind early or dig a big hole and have to fight their way out of it.
Cavaliers will go with a different look here. Mozgov, he's checked in for Verejao. Love comes in for Tristan Thompson. Jefferson's checked in for James. And Smith subbed in for Matthew Dellavedova. 102 left to play here in the half. That's going to be over and back. Not watching for the line that time. You mentioned, GA, the Cavs and their comebacks. They actually overcame double-digit deficits for 13 of their 53 wins last year.
Yeah, and Kevin, I remember their biggest one being a comeback after being down 17 points. I mean, but when you have the star power that the Cavs have, no comeback is out of the question. You're just never safe against this team. Another rebound hauled in. They're hitting the glass with a lot of passion.
Guys, that's been the key to their lead. I mean, simply put, the effort they've displayed on the glass has been the difference.
And so it's going to be a 3-second violation out there on the defense. Bulls shooting their first foul shot of the night.
And at the line last season, about 78% as a team. Pretty solid numbers.
And you can't take those numbers lightly, fellas. I mean, their free throw shooting made a difference for them in a lot of their games last season.
Snell from outside. Good, and the assist goes to Gasol. Gasol's got 4 assists now tonight.
Sometimes trailing in a game, players get sucked into trying to make that home run play.
Yeah, trying to get it all back in a hurry. right on that, but these threes they're taking have not helped. They're trying to catch fire, and they've yet to find the match.
Good on that shot, and with that, the Cavalier lead is cut back down to 6 after the bucket from Derrick Rose. Williams kicks to Smith. Just 3 on the clock. No good on the buzzer beater. And so that's the end of the first half. Cavaliers. And welcome back to the second half of our Halloween broadcast. A fantastic game from Derrick Rose in this one.
Always been a dynamic scorer, and we saw in that first half the entire repertoire on display.
Yeah, he's a hard man to keep down, and so far they haven't found the answer for him. I don't know if there is an answer for him, quite honestly.
And it's been a back-and-forth game so far with no ground given through the first half. Third quarter starting here now. A fantastic game from Derrick Rose in this one.
Yeah, created a lot of quality shots for himself in that first half, and he knew when to pass it up when the double team came.
And that led to a very high points per shot number for him. For those of you that are into analytics, that stat really tells how efficient a player has been, and he's been very efficient so far.
Checking out the group for David Black to start the second half. Thompson and Verija at the 4 and 5. J.R. Smith out there with Mo Williams. And it's Jefferson in at the 3 slot.
And that's how the coach would draw it up on the fast break from start to finish.
Yeah, and what a finish it was, guys. Really nicely done.
Shoots. That one off the back iron and out.
And they continue to control the glass.
Guys, I think they've simply been the more physical team, and that's why they're ahead.
Butler against Smith. Butler passes to Gasol. And again, no good by Chicago.
Still a bit chilly from the field at the start of this third quarter. 1 of 4 so far.
Well, you go back last season, the Cavs had a very slow start to the year. Not surprising. They had a lot of new faces and people they were bringing together. Clark, it didn't look like the powerhouse they would end up being as we saw.
Well, you know, they were kind of fumbling and bumbling around in the 5th and 6th spots in the East for the first half of the season. Made some changes, though, through trade, and that got them going, I think.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Joakim Noah's checked in for Gasol. Gibson comes in for Mirotic, and Brooks subbed in for Rose. And Cleveland with a change here too. James checked in for Mo Williams. Timeout called the Cavaliers. As the teams head into this timeout, a chance for the coaches now to map out some plays for the next few minutes and a chance for the players to rehydrate with some Gatorade. That's important if they want to make sure they don't wear down later in the game.
Absolutely. Over the course of a game, you have to stay hydrated.
Chicago making a switch here. Rose is checked in. And then for Cleveland, Mozgov. He's checked in for Verija. Love comes in for Tristan Thompson. And it's Matthew Dellavedova in for Richard Jefferson.
And those mid-season trades for the Cavs really turned things around. Mozgov came in, J.R. Smith and Shumpert secured that 2 spot, gave this team an incredible edge defensively.
Rose kicks to Snell. Dellavedova, that's good. And now it's a 10-point Cleveland lead.
Just impressed with the teamwork out there, setting the table for one another.
5 straight baskets, Greg, resulting from assists. They're playing as one unit out there.
They blow the whistle just as he gets it off. That's 2 points with a chance for another one at the stripe.
Yeah, and you know, they built the roster to how they play best mid-season. I mean, it was a great job, I think, by the front office to get the players that fit best into the locker room and into the team style of play.
Gibson with the steal. Snell dishes to Rose. Stolen away. And here comes Smith leading the fast break. Five on the clock. Inside. Gibson with the steal. Down low. Butler. And down it goes. Dunked through off a wonderful assist.
Yeah, how about the sharp steal and then run out? It looks like they're ready to put the hammer down.
Well, we've been waiting for one of these teams, Greg, to pull away. Maybe that'll be a springboard for them.
Could be. A dunk like that coming off a great defensive play has to build some momentum.
Rose against Smith. Here's Gibson. The Cavaliers pull it in. Victory eluded them last time in Chicago when they faced the Bulls.
And they lost a close one last time they saw each other. And you have to think that it was the foul trouble that really kept them from getting the win.
And, you know, as you said, Greg, when you are in foul trouble, it makes you less aggressive defensively. And when that's the case, it's hard to offer the kind of resistance that you need to. That was in the back of the mind, the foul trouble they were in.
And sometimes when you want something done, you got to do it yourself. That dunk's the shot in the arm they need to really cut into that lead.
Well, Greg, it certainly got everybody on their bench up and off their seats and cheering.
Yeah, that could be an instant momentum shift. That certainly was a rim record.
And some stats here, guys. The scoring breakdown for the Cavaliers.
Fantastic passing. We saw it in the first half, and it's carried over here in the second.
They've really been on fire from beyond the arc tonight, too. I mean, a lot of their points have come from out there.
Catching up on the changes for Chicago. Pau Gasol is checked in for Noah. Mirotic comes in for Butler. And it's Brooks in for Rose. Cleveland also making some changes. Thompson, he's checked in for Love. And Harris subbed in for Smith.
Boy, he threw out some punishment with that two-hand throwdown.
And Clark, now's the time to do it. Continue to attack that rim.
Derrick Rose is checked in for the Bulls. 36 seconds left here in the third quarter. And there's the pass to Mirotic. The dish to Gibson. Rose up on top. To the paint. Lock at 6. And there's the whistle on the shot. Took the foul. Shot misses. He'll be shooting 2. The Bulls have hit all 4 of their chances so far in this one. Gasol hits them both.
We're seeing today what makes him one of the best free throw shooters among the league's big men. Beautiful stroke.
Here's Harris. Good, and the assist goes to James. And the Cavaliers lead by 9.
They're straying away from the three-point game here in the second half. And that's fine as long as they're on the lead and they're getting good shots. They've decided not to take nearly as many three-pointers in this half.
Timeout called the Cavaliers.
And I think taking a time here to talk things over is a smart idea.
One of the things you want to do is make sure everybody is clearly on the same page with the game plan. And sometimes you need a timeout to make sure that's the case.
Give them a hand. Come on, Chicago.
16 seconds left to play in the third. Smith on the wing. Jefferson kicks to Thompson. Over to the wing. Williams, that's for 2. And a great show through 3 quarters as we enter the fourth.